They were just amazing in terms of their professional advice, the editing process. Just any advice that they gave was just awesome. It was a great collaborative process. They were the pros with the hybrid publishing. The only con is that it is a bit more expensive. And as Rav said, as first-time authors, it's a little bit daunting.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unfiltered Voices, the podcast that is all about busting the myth that self-published is second-rate. I'm Kelly Nissen. I'm an author coach and a self-published author, and I'll be talking to authors, illustrators, and other self-published industry professionals about their choices, their journeys, and everything in between. So stick around. Raveena Grace and Mridula Chopra, welcome both of you to Unfiltered Voices. It's really, really lovely to have you here today to talk about self-publishing, hybrid publishing, and books in general, and particularly your book, Rosie Rescues Her Precious Planet, which you published through Little Steps Publishing in 2020. A little bit about Raveena and Mridula. They're a mother-daughter writing duo and first-time authors who are absolutely passionate about creativity, the environment, and animal welfare, which is really something that's going to resonate with children, particularly in these days. Raveena is a sustainability engagement officer with a master's in environmental science and climate change. And Mridula holds an arts degree in English literature, as well as an additional graphic design qualification. Both Raveena and Mridula have a shared love of the outdoors and a combined love of educating and empowering people, which is, key qualities if you're going to be a children's author. And they're all about the importance of looking after our planet and its ecosystem. So of course this is where Rosie Rescues Her Precious Planet comes right in. I might start with you, Raveena, to just tell us a little bit about your book. What inspired you? How did you find the co-authoring process as well?
Thank you so much, Kelly, for having us. We really appreciate it. We're very excited to be on this podcast. So our book is about the tree and the dregs. So the tree live peacefully in a pristine environment and they look after their environment, and the dregs live underground. So they have polluted their world. They need to find a new home. So they basically go up above to the tree land and they start to take over. But a brave little tree called Rosie summons up the courage to save their home. It's sort of a parallel between humans and nature. Humans represent the dregs, and nature represents the tree. So our book is really about the necessity of looking after our world. It actually started off as an assignment. So that's kind of where the inspiration came from. In my master's degree, I did a subject called environmental education, and we were tasked with trying to communicate sustainability in a really creative way. So I decided to write a children's book, and I very much got my mum's help for it because she is an amazing writer. And so we went through that process, and then my lecturer gave us really good feedback and basically said you should try and turn this into a book. So we went through we submitted up a manuscript and what we had already, and then we basically went from there. But I have always been really inspired by the environment and sustainability, and that has come from my mum. My mum has taught me how to look after the environment and be in nature, and animals are always our friends, and all of that kind of that mentality. So I've always been really interested in it. So that's kind of why I started my Master of Environment, and then we were just very lucky that we kind of did this assignment, and we wanted to do a project together that we could communicate sustainability to.
Yeah, I love that. It's just that shared passion.
Yeah.
And then that lovely combination of your experience. So you with the environmental science and Mridula with the degree in English literature and that sort of thing. So it's a really nice combination. And then of course you've got the whole mother-daughter relationship happening as well, which is lovely. This may have started as a project, all right, but And to get that feedback, oh, you should turn it into a book. A lot of the time that's like throwaway feedback, but you actually did something with it, which
Yeah.
I think is absolutely fabulous. Um, so still on your book, Regula, this is for you. What impact would you like to achieve?
Yeah, so with our book, we'd love to sort of plant the seeds of environmental awareness in young children.
Mm.
And, you know, just show them also that through perseverance, through kindness and teamwork, that you can overcome even the biggest of challenges. Because in today's world, there's so many environmental challenges just hitting us left, right, and center. So we just wanted to show kids that there is hope and encourage them to do something. And also encourage families or schools or communities to start even one eco-friendly habit together, and from there you build.
You're inspiring your readers, who then in turn inspire people, and they know, and their family members, because often it does start with the children. Um, so I was just thinking, just as you were talking, Mridula, that Rosie Rescues Her Precious Planet is something that when I was teaching, I would have loved to have used in the classroom with my students. Because I think with the environment and climate change, it's our younger generation that are really driving this. It's not the big changes that we're
Yeah.
looking for here. It's the small changes and lots of them. What's one thing that you'd really hope that they would choose?
You're so right, because the younger generation, they are our future. So they're the ones who could potentially save the planet from the crisis that we're in. So I think we'd just love them to ask themselves in any action that they do, you know, what would Rosie do? So then they can sort of notice, you know, what they're doing, and whether it's small things like picking up rubbish or saving electricity in the home, or saving water, and just observing how beautiful the planet is and the need for it to be saved.
And I loved what you said too about just encouraging the younger readers in particular to think, well,
Mhm.
I'm in this situation. What would Rosie do?
Yes.
Because you want that connection with the character. A lot of people will know this anyway, but there's a little bit of a distinction between self-publishing and hybrid publishing. So you published through Little Steps. And so what you would have done would have been hybrid publishing as opposed to self-publishing. But there is still that stigma. You paid some money to get your book published, so it's not traditionally published and rah rah rah. It's definitely a choice. So why did you decide to go down the hybrid publishing slash self-publishing route?
For us, hybrid publishing was a good choice because we are first-time authors, and we did do a bit of research into which path we did want to go down. But I guess with hybrid publishing, we were able to work with Little Steps, and Little Steps are absolutely perfect at what they do. They have published various children's books, and through Little Steps, we also got our illustrator, Nandina Vines, who is amazing.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Such a blessing.
But I think also we really valued being involved in every step with the hybrid publishing process. We were able to retain our creative license with it. It was very much a collaborative process. And we were still able to benefit from the editorial designs and advice around that. So I think for us, we wanted that collaboration.
It's a learning curve there as
Yes.
well. And Marigela, I know you're going to add something there because we talked about you maybe having a little bit more, giving a little bit more information about the actual process, like the pros and cons of hybrid publishing. So was there any other things that you just want to highlight there with hybrid publishing and your experience in particular?
Yeah, we just found it, yeah, just so much fun to be collaborating with professionals. You sort of also benefit from the reach that they're able to, you know, achieve. And they present you also with a list of illustrators, and they show their designs, so you can actually choose which illustrator you'd like to work with rather than having to search for one by yourself. So that was like a real plus. And yeah, they were just amazing in terms of their professional
advice, the editing process. It was a great collaborative process. And they were the pros with the hybrid publishing. I guess, yeah, the only con is that it is a bit more expensive. But as Rav said, as first-time authors, it's a little bit daunting. What should we do? How do you go about it? They actually send us a package as to actually how it'll all work. So it was very clear from start to finish. So it was really, really good. And I guess, the pros of, self-publishing is that you do have that, autonomous feel, and it's very empowering because you're creating the story by yourself. You don't have anyone telling you should edit it. I guess just the only con is that it's a little more challenging to, sort of market it or get the reach that probably a publisher can get.
Same with self-publishing. Yeah, the hardest thing is that distribution, and just the like you said, the marketing and actually getting it into the hands of the people that you want to get it into, as well. But you still, I think for a lot of people who choose either self-publishing or hybrid publishing, the biggest pro is actually maintaining that creative control. So I know a lot of self-published authors are like, yep, this is what I want to do because I want to be in charge. And I want to make those decisions. I don't want those decisions taken out of my hands. And it sounds like with your experience with the hybrid publishing that you were still able to maintain that creative control with the addition of support there as well, which is so. Rosie Rescues Her Precious Planet, as I mentioned, I think earlier, came out in 2023. Raveena, did you have a launch for the book?
We didn't have a launch just because life sort of got in the way at that point in time. It just got really busy. But it is something that we would still love to do. So we really want to celebrate the book. So I think we've been able to put a lot more time into it at the moment, and we're getting a lot more traction, which is really exciting. So it's something that is on the cards.
On that topic, a launch is important for a number of reasons, and I know that there are people that I've spoken to in the past going, oh, you've got to have the launch within the first 6 months and blah blah blah. There's absolutely no reason why you can't have a launch later when you're ready and you can put the effort into it, or why you can't have multiple launches in different places, because you're just getting it out there and you're celebrating. A lot of authors and illustrators will launch their books in a bookstore or a library, but sometimes that location is a little bit more quirky. So just thinking about your future launch, where's your dream location for your launch?
Well, I guess our dream location, not sure how realistic this would be, but a dream location would actually be at a sanctuary. So for animals, it's I think it's very true to our values. It's an environment that we love. So I think that would be amazing to launch the book or to celebrate the book really at a sanctuary with these rescued animals. Obviously, we'd still love to do a launch in like a local bookshop that supports those local businesses as well. But that would be our dream location.
Yeah, and there's no reason why you can't do both.
Yeah,
Okay, so you can
point.
do, a smaller level launch at the bookstore. You can do book signings and that sort of thing, and then have, a big celebration at a sanctuary or, a wildlife park or somewhere like that. You could go full tilt with that and have your activities and walks and that sort of thing would be absolutely fantastic.
Those are great points, Kelly, because it's never too late.
No, exactly. And the thing is, every time you launch, every time you promote your book, you're reaching a different audience. So I know when I saw your post come up, and when I received the book, I went, oh, this is not that recent. This is, 2023. But I didn't know about it because how can you know, right, about everything? So
that's so true.
it's going to be new to a number of people, and this your subject matter is timeless as well. Like, it's always going to be important. So it's not like you've missed the boat. It's not like the doorway's closed for that. So Mridula, I've got a bit of a little quirky, weird sort of question for you. So if your writing partnership were an ecosystem, which roles would each of you play? So you've got, the sun, the soil, the rain, the roots, or whatever, and why. So what's your role in your writing ecosystem?
That's such a great question. I would say that Rav would definitely be the sun because she radiates and she's full of warmth and light and, joy. And actually, her name means ray of sunshine, which is really sweet.
A nice connection.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think I would be the rain because we love rainy days and we also know that rain promotes growth. In terms of the story, Raveena would just bring the warmth into the story, the light, the joy, and all of her, input in terms of sustainability. And I would be the rain, so I'd promote the growth and that, in that way our story has developed.
I love that you're using that rain as a positive there as well. I love what your name means, Raveena.
Yeah.
Ray of
a
sunshine,
nice
which
fact.
she
I
has
love
been
that.
ever since she was born.
Yeah, I know. I can tell actually. So for people who are watching this on YouTube, they'll be able to see. But anybody who's listening on Spotify, I think they're going to get that feeling, that warmth through the tone of your voice as well.
That's kind.
So self-publishing or hybrid publishing, like this, I've mentioned before, this is a massive learning curve for anybody. Even actually, I know some people who've self-published multiple times and they still are learning, like something else happens new that they're just like, oh, I didn't expect that. So what's one thing that this hybrid publishing process has taught you that you didn't expect, Raveena?
It has definitely been a process. We've definitely learnt lots about how to market the book. That's something that I think we were a little bit unsure of. My mum has become an Instagram queen with our Instagram. So
I'm not very tech savvy. Rav does all the communicating, but I love creating the reels.
with the
Yeah,
characters,
it's just,
Would that be your graphic design?
I guess like I do have that artistic sort of aspect about me. I've had that all my life. And so in this way I can just put it in a different way, like just creating reels with the characters that we have.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that marketing, I think, is
Marketing, but I think that also an amazing thing that's come from it is also the community that's been involved. So
Yeah.
when you publish a book, sometimes you just kind of think of the fact that you have to do it all by yourself, but you really don't realize that there's going to be so many people involved in your journey, in Rosie's journey.
Yeah.
So editors, illustrators, teachers, readers, people like yourselves, Kelly, and it's so nice that we can all be collaborative, really these kind of
Getting the
things.
message out.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it
Collaboration.
is community, I think, the writing community, because there's so many aspects, like particularly as authors and illustrators, where it is very isolating because you're doing a lot of this by yourself.
Yes.
And you do actually have to get out there. And when you actually look at every person who is involved in each step of the publication of a book, there's a lot there, and you're all in it together, really.
Exactly. That's so true, Kelly.
And you
I,
all, oh,
yeah,
sorry,
go
no,
on.
you go.
I often say to Rav, I feel so indebted to Little Steps, for everything that they did, because it just helped us, achieve what we wanted. And we're so grateful to them for our illustrator, Nandina Vines, because she's just like, amazing in what she does in her artistry. And she herself brought in her own little quirks to make the story fun in the designs. And she actually also thought of designing the stickers that now, we give with the book.
With illustrators, there's often some little piece of themselves that they put into the illustrations that often as adults we don't necessarily see that, but children certainly do. And it might be as a bit of a B story, or just a little character that just pops up randomly throughout the books.
Yeah, that's
It's
so
always,
true.
That's so true.
it's always a lovely surprise. So Mridula, what for people who are thinking to do hybrid publishing with whatever company, or self-publishing, what would be your advice for people who are thinking, I've got this book, I actually want to do something with it?
Yeah. Well, my advice would be just to go with it because, like, You know, I truly believe that if you put your mind to it, anything is possible. And we also really believe that if you're really passionate about something and you enjoy it, just share it, you know, with others. The passion that you have in your writing will, you know, show through in your story, and never be afraid to sort of be creative and to express yourself in that way. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Raveena, it's what you did. You backed yourself, you backed each other. You
Yeah.
could quite easily have put that assignment back in a drawer and just gone, yeah, right.
Yes,
Yes.
it's so
But
true.
you didn't. And you've got this beautiful product, this beautiful website,
Yeah.
stickers, everything. It's absolutely lovely. So what's next? Do you have more books planned? And also share with everybody how with listeners can actually get in touch with you, where they can purchase your book, and where they can find out more about this wonderful work that you do.
Oh, well, would love to write a second book. And I think like what we'd love to also do is visit more schools and libraries,
Hmm.
sort of read our books to, you know, to kids and talk about the topic of sustainability. And also actually a film company by the name of 13th Street Films reached out to us. And earlier in the year, they saw the potential in our story and they thought it'd be great to do a short film. So we thought it was a wonderful sort of thought. And so we went with it. And Sean and Joel have been just beautiful to communicate with. They actually did a short film.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
which you can only see a trailer of it on YouTube because what they've done is they've entered film festivals. So they can release the short film early next year, but for now, only the people at the festivals can see it. And it's been great because they've got a lot of positive feedback with regards to it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Joel and Sean want to take it a little further into something bigger next year, but that's still in the works. Yeah.
That is so exciting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's very.
I cannot tell you how many authors I know whose their dream is to have their book made
Yes.
into a production like that. And
So true, Helen. Yeah,
yes,
because
so
when I'm so sorry, but when we wrote the book, I said to Rav, oh, this would be so cool as a short film, but we never acted upon it. For it to actually be happening, it's like, wow, this is really cool.
that is so exciting. So you said that we can see the trailer on YouTube.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yeah.
you can
So
see a trailer on YouTube. I think if you just type in Rosie Rescues Her Precious Trailer, it'll come up
yep,
on YouTube. But
perfect.
for those that wanted to look at the Instagram as well, it's at Raveena underscore and underscore Mridula. And
Yep,
then we also have
Yeah.
a website that's rosiesplanet.com.
excellent. So people can get in touch with you then either via Instagram
Yeah.
or through your contact page on your website. So I'm thinking here not only people who would love to buy your book, but schools, teachers out there, childcare centres, daycare centres, preschools who would like to, would love to have a couple of beautiful authors come in and share your story with them and maybe do a little activity or two with them. So schools can reach out to you through those means.
We would love to just
Yeah.
keep communicating that story, the message, the story to
Yeah.
all of the younger generation.
What you're doing is reaching into that gap sometimes that teachers don't feel that they've got the expertise to discuss with students. So, having a couple of people come in with a story, and of course, story is the best way to communicate
Yeah.
these ideas. So thank you so much, both of you. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, and I'm really hoping you do another book, whether it's a sequel to Rosie or whether you've got a different idea, or something. And I do hope that people get in touch with you and invite you to come to their school, go the film. So thank you so much, both of you. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you do next.
Oh, thanks,
Thanks,
Kelly. Thanks
Kelly.
for having us.